Travis's interviews. He is the best, the one and only, the unrivaled interviewer from the NALCS. That's what I read on Reddit. And I'm going to say I think you also do a wonderful job always. So keep it up.
Well, it is the second day of MSI 2018. I'm joined right now by Sjokz with coverage presented by me to talk to her about MSI. I don't have a sponsor. How's this event been for you so far?
Today it's been really good. Clearly, results-wise.
So far, there's only been one, but there's only one game so far.
Yeah, exactly.
For Fnatic.
For Fnatic. Well, I don't. Yeah.
Well, you say really good today.
Why are you cutting me off? Let me speak. This is. No. So today's been really good. Overall, it's been really good. And I've actually been working in the studio at MSI in general for 2 weeks now. Okay. So. Yeah, the energy levels are dropping just a little bit, but every time the group stage starts, you just know there's going to be upsets. You just know things are going to get crazy. So, yeah, hanging in there. And the weather is absolutely beautiful. Yeah. I bet you didn't expect that coming to Europe.
It was not beautiful until literally like 15 minutes ago. And in fact, this is the worst because we're shooting in the shade because it's so bright out.
Fake news, plus you want it to be outside, so...
No. I'm not blowing you up. I'm just saying, like, it would have been nicer if it was not... I'm not a big fan of Berlin. Okay? I'm not a big fan. I miss America. And North America is losing. It's not great.
Well, yeah, that is not great. But I will say, I don't think you've gotten much chances yet to go out and maybe see stuff. And we'll do that the next couple of days. So hopefully you'll enjoy it here a bit more.
What are we going to do?
Well, there is a colleague of ours' birthday, so we're just going to have some pizza and possibly a couple of beers downtown, which is very beautiful. And yeah, I think you'll come around. You'll come around to Europe.
Okay. to Europe as a whole? Yeah. One of these days, on this trip, Travis, you'll finally be into Europe. I like Europe. I'm really looking forward to Paris. I like Paris a lot, so... Berlin, we're kind of out in the boonies a little bit with the studio.
Yeah, the studio's always very far, which is it's nice that everything's here because it's very, for us, we know where everything is. Like, we know how the studio works and how to get everywhere. Sometimes when you get to a new venue, that's kind of confusing. But on the other hand, it doesn't feel that adventurous, you know? Yeah. But sleeping in my own bed is very cool at the end of a long day.
Yeah, and I don't mean to sound too dour. I've been having a good time. It sucks that North America is losing, but it's really fun to see just sort of MSI again and sort of see some of these big teams go off. One of the things that's been really exciting to me to watch is the Vietnam team play, and I'm kind of curious what your take is on them.
I think it's cool that, again, Vietnam is showing up because we had the Gigabyte Marines and we talked about them so much. But I feel like even though it's the same kind of aggressive style from EVOs, it's still different from the Gigabyte Marines. That the Gigabyte Marines also had these crazy drafts sometimes. And this is purely taking engages or making decisions that, if the game was to play correctly, shouldn't be taken, which I think is what always throws analysts off as well the teams playing against them. And I just love it. And it's just showing more and more why Vietnam is a region to be feared.
Yeah. Now, what's it like for you meeting up with all the casters and folks again? I mean, obviously you got your EU guys here, but these international events are always like a back to school moment where everybody comes back together. So what's that been like for you, this event?
That is so fun, and that's why I think it's a bit sad that I go home, so you don't get that, you're in the shuttle together, you eat together. I mean, that's possible, of course, but it's a bit less. But it is still very nice to see everyone, as always. Captain Flowers is now there more regularly, and he is just an absolute blast. He's just a ray of sunshine, constantly bringing the energy, even tiring himself out before he has to cast. So it's always very fun.
He's got a lot of energy.
Yeah, he does have a lot of energy, which is important for a play-by-play caster regardless. And him and Kobe really, they hit it off.
They feed off each other too much.
I don't know too much. It's fun.
Okay. Now, what are you looking forward to throughout the rest of the event? Like anything in particular that's got you hyped? Maybe like the Paris part or anything?
Yeah, Paris for sure. I just think also it's 5 days of group stage. We always forget that MSI is it's just the single longest event internationally, and maybe even across a lot of things, where there's 6 games a day for 5 days in a row. I mean, the LPL does play a lot of games too. So the fact that we're going to get more upsets and it's going to get crazy, the fact that Fnatic is playing Team Liquid later, and no matter what your preconceptions are about any game that EU and NA play, it always turns on its head and it always becomes super hype. All the fans get riled up and it's Salt Fest. Yeah. So it's going to be great.
That's why North America is gonna win against Fnatic.
I mean, I wouldn't... I have to say that, I know we were always fun and we're bantering about EU versus NA, and I'm very happy that EU got a better start today. But I don't know, I just feel a bit bad for Team Liquid, to be honest. I really hope that they can kind of turn it around and that they can, if they have to leave, that they can leave with a head held high, because these players are better than this. Like, the team is better than this, right?
Yeah.
So I hope they just need that one win, and maybe that's versus Fnatic.
Yeah, maybe it is. We'll find out by the time this interview goes live. Let's take a step out from MSI, because you and I get to see each other a couple times a year, and I'm kind of curious, like, what has life been like for you since Worlds? Because that was, I think, the last time I saw you, or shortly after. What's life been like? How's the season this year treating you? All that.
I think this has been one of the best years, kind of ever, for the EU LCS. I think it was a perfect storm of the studio, like the analyst test set is new, and we really wanted it to be new, and we really wanted it to have more possibilities to just show what we wanted to do. We really refocused on stories, and I know that the community picked up on that, and we overdid it a little bit, but I do think it's a balancing act, and it's good that we took that step forward and focused in more on the specific stories and the specific players that we wanted to tell. And I think for me specifically, I'm happier with the way I told stories and the way I, in general, handled the analyst set and the analyst desk and the analysts. I've been focusing a lot on personal improvement. And sometimes if you do things, I think you can relate for 6-7 years, sometimes you can't see where the improvements are. Maybe you're not getting the right feedback, you're reading the wrong feedback, and you can get really down on yourself. And I'm really happy with this year that I've been able to kind of refocus and be better.
Well, and you've had Laura join the cast kind of this year as well. What's that been like for you?
That's been awesome. I mean, I hadn't been doing so many interviews here locally, but we've had the play-by-plays doing it. And to be fair, they are quite good at doing it as well, like Dracos and Medic, Pyra. But it's been cool to have a specific interviewer. And Laura really, she prepares so much for every single interview. She is so focused constantly, and she does have things to learn. Obviously, English is not her first language, so that's going to take a while to be perfect. But the fact that she feels very comfortable and can convey that in the interview is great.
Yeah. Now, normally it's hard for me to get more than one interview with you at these international events. I was actually thinking, though, we'll see if I can get it through right or not. But you know that I speak French. You've heard my French, yes?
Oui, bien sûr.
Yes.
Donc, ça va, on va continuer en français.
Yeah, comme ci, comme ça. So whenever we get to Paris, maybe we can do a short interview in French.
And you're going to speak French as well. And my French is really rusty right now. Like,
really?
Yes.
I feel like anytime somebody shows up and like speaks, Mandarin or something to you, and you just like bust it out.
No, I think because I've been focusing on my German so much. My German is a really good level conversationally, and French is kind of in the background. So it's rusty, but with you, of course,
I'll guide it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see if we can pull it off.
Oui, d'accord.
Yeah, d'accord, indeed. J'aime le français. Anyway,
Sweaty. How about you? I'm like, it's really
I know. Broden always wants to shoot outside. He's just such a control freak. I don't.
You know how happy we are to see you. We're just as happy that Broden's here as well. It's always
really?
nice. Yeah.
Okay. Just as happy, Broden. You hear that? Yeah, he's not sure about that. Okay. I'm trying to think if there's anything else we should get into before all the stuff builds off for Paris. But is there anything that you want to say to any of the fans out there?
As always, keep watching Travis's interviews. He is the best, the one and only, the unrivaled interviewer from the NALCS. That's what I read on Reddit. And I'm going to say I think you also do a wonderful job always. So keep it up.
Thank you for that pat on the back. Really glad to be here. You were obviously one of the major reasons to get excited about coming and visiting MSI. So thank you so much for the interview. For everyone else, you can check out the rest of my coverage. You can check out the rest of my coverage of all things. Sorry. It's just, this is always how it ends. I'm trying to interview somebody and they just go for the hug, and then you can check out the rest of my coverage of all things esports right here on my YouTube channel. According to my YouTube statistics, about half of you that watch these interviews are subscribed, which is awesome because it used to be like 33%. But a ton of people have subscribed in the past year, which is great. I would love to see that number get a little bit higher. So maybe you can't hit up the support page, maybe you can't hit up the Patreon, but subscribing to my channel is super helpful, and would love to see it happen. So if you're interested in my content, please do that. Otherwise, thanks for watching.